This is not what it looks like.
I came back from the UK and saw you cheating with my best friend.
It's not what it looks like.
My husband, who had spent 2 lonely years without me. Instead, I saw something that made my heart freeze.
This is not what it looks like.
I came back from the UK and saw you cheating with my best friend.
The plane touched down at Murtala Muhammad International Airport at exactly 6:15 a.m. My heart was beating fast. After 2 years in the United Kingdom, I was finally back home in Lagos. I had gone abroad for my master's degree and a work program. My husband had insisted, "Go, Ada." He had told me during our last night together. His voice had been soft, loving. "This opportunity will change our lives. I'll hold things down here." And I believed him, because Kunle was my husband, my partner, my best friend, or at least that's what I thought. If you're enjoying this story so far, tell me where you're watching from and don't forget to subscribe. Your support keeps stories like this coming. When I stepped out of the airport with my 2 suitcases, the Lagos heat wrapped around me like a blanket. God, I had missed this country. The noise, the smell of roasted corn, the yellow buses, everything. I smiled. Kunle didn't know I was coming today. I wanted to surprise him. My best friend Tara knew though. She had helped me plan everything. Tara and I had been friends since secondary school. We were the kind of friends people envied, the inseparable type. If you saw Ada, you saw Tara. If you saw Tara, you saw Ada. When I got married to Kunle, Tara had been my chief bridesmaid. She cried more than I did that day. "Kunle," she had joked, "if you break Ada's heart, I'll personally deal with you." We all laughed. None of us knew how ironic those words would become. Outside the airport, I ordered a ride. The driver loaded my suitcases into the trunk. "Where to, madame?" I smiled. "Lekki Phase 1. Kunle and I had moved there shortly, before I left for the UK. A beautiful duplex, white walls, large balcony, the kind of house that made you feel like you had made it in life. The drive from the airport took over an hour, Lagos traffic of course, but I didn't mind. My heart was too excited. I kept imagining Kunle's reaction. Maybe he would lift me in the air. Maybe he would cry. Maybe he would kiss me in front of the neighbors. I laughed at the thought. 2 years was a long time. We had visited each other once, but it wasn't enough. Today we would finally be together again. Halfway through the drive, my phone buzzed. It was Tara. "Have you landed?" I smiled and replied, "Yes, on my way home now. Don't tell Kunle." Her reply came instantly. "Of course not. I can't wait to see you later." Something about that message felt normal, too normal, but I ignored the strange feeling. Tara had always been like that. Excited, dramatic, loud. That was just her personality. When we finally entered Lekki, my heart started beating faster. I could already picture Kunle's face. The driver stopped in front of our gate, my house, home. I paid him and stepped out. My hands trembled as I rolled my suitcase to the gate. The security guard wasn't there. Strange. Kunle usually kept someone on duty, but maybe the guard had stepped out. I opened the gate myself. The compound was quiet. Too quiet. Kunle's car was parked outside. Good. He was home. Perfect. This surprise would be amazing. I slowly walked toward the front door, my heart pounding with excitement. I inserted my key. The door opened, and that's when I heard it. Laughter. A woman's laughter. From upstairs. I froze. My first thought was simple. Maybe Kunle had visitors. Maybe Tara was there. Maybe... Then I heard Kunle's voice. Soft, playful, the way he used to talk to me. "Stop it. Someone might hear you." The woman laughed again. My stomach twisted. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Slowly, painfully, slowly. I began climbing the stairs. Each step felt heavier than the last. The voices grew louder. Kunle and the woman. Then I heard the woman say something that made my blood run cold. "Relax. Ada is thousands of miles away." I stopped breathing. My heart slammed violently against my chest. That voice. I knew that voice. I had known it for over 15 years. It was Tara, my best friend, my sister, the person I trusted more than anyone. My hands began shaking. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe they were joking. Maybe. Then I reached the top of the stairs, and the bedroom door was slightly open. I pushed it, and in that moment, my entire world shattered. Kunle was on the bed, half naked, and Tara was lying beside him, also half naked. They both turned toward the door. Their eyes widened in shock. For 3 seconds, nobody spoke, nobody moved. Then Tara whispered the words that broke my heart into 1,000 pieces. Ada, if you're enjoying the story so far, tell me where you're watching from and don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps this channel grow. I dropped my suitcase. The sound echoed through the room. Kunle jumped out of the bed. Ada, wait, this is not what it looks like. Not what it looks like? I stared at them, at the sheets, at Tara's clothes scattered on the floor, at my husband standing half naked in front of my best friend. My voice came out as a whisper. How long? Neither of them answered. That silence told me everything. Tears blurred my vision. How long? I repeated louder. Tara began crying. Kunle rubbed his face nervously. Ada, please let me explain. Explain? Explain what? Explain how my best friend and my husband were in bed together? Explain how the two people I trusted most had destroyed my marriage? My chest tightened, my hands trembled, and suddenly I laughed, a broken, painful laugh. You know what's funny? They both stared at me. I came back early because I missed you. Kunle's face collapsed. Tara started sobbing harder, but I wasn't done. 2 years, I said quietly. 2 years I worked my body to exhaustion abroad so we could build a better life. I looked straight at Tara. And this is how you repay me? Her lips trembled. Ada, it's not what you think. I laughed again. Oh, really? Then I pointed at the bed. So what exactly do I think this is? Neither of them answered because there was no answer. But what neither of them knew was this, the real shock, the real secret. The thing that would destroy all three of us had not even started yet. And by the time the truth finally came out, someone would lose everything. For a long moment, the room was completely silent, the kind of silence that felt heavy, suffocating. My husband stood frozen beside the bed. My best friend sat there, clutching the bedsheet against her chest, her eyes red from crying. And I stood at the door, shaking. My heart felt like someone had ripped it out and dropped it on the floor. Kunle finally spoke. Ada, please listen to me. His voice sounded weak, guilty. I wiped the tears from my face slowly. No, I said quietly. You will listen to me. He swallowed hard. Tara avoided my eyes completely. That hurt even more. This was the girl who used to sleep over at my house when we were teenagers. The girl who held my hand when my father died. The girl who stood beside me on my wedding day. And now she was sitting on my marital bed with my husband. The betrayal felt deeper than words could explain. If you're enjoying the story so far, tell me where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe. I turned back to them. How long? Kunle rubbed his forehead nervously. Ada, it was a mistake. I felt anger explode inside me. A mistake? I snapped. You don't accidentally remove your clothes and climb into bed with someone. Tara burst into louder tears. Ada, please, we didn't plan it. Her voice cracked. That's the truth. I looked at her slowly. You didn't plan it? She nodded weakly. It just happened. I laughed again. That broken laugh returned. It just happened, I repeated. Like rain? Like traffic? Like electricity going off in Lagos? Neither of them spoke because there was no defense for what they had done. I walked further into the room. Every step felt heavy, painful, but I forced myself to stay calm. Answer my question, I said again. How long has this been going on? Kunle looked at Tara. Tara looked at the floor. Finally, Kunle whispered, 8 months. For a second, I thought I misheard him. Sorry? 8 months, he repeated quietly. My knees nearly gave way. 8 months, 8 whole months. That meant something terrible, something that made my stomach twist. You started sleeping together while I was still abroad? Kunle didn't respond. His silence confirmed it. Tears filled my eyes again. You spoke to me on video calls every night, I whispered. You told me you missed me. You told me you loved me. My voice broke. And after hanging up, you came here with her. Kunle covered his face. Ada, I was lonely. Lonely. That word. That stupid word. I felt rage burn inside me. You were lonely? My voice rose. Do you think I wasn't lonely in the UK? Do you think it was easy for me there? I took a step closer to him. I worked 2 jobs. I studied at night. I saved every single pound so we could build a future. My voice cracked. And this is what you were doing behind my back? Tara suddenly spoke again. Ada, please, it wasn't supposed to go this far. I turned to her slowly. Oh, really? Her lips trembled. Yes. So how far did you expect it to go? I asked. Silence. Then I asked the question that terrified me. Does anyone else know? Kunle hesitated. Tara hesitated, and that hesitation made my heart sink even deeper. Who knows? I demanded. Kunle sighed heavily. Just one person. Who? He answered quietly. My mother. The words hit me like a slap. His mother knew. She knew my best friend was sleeping with my husband, and she said nothing. Of course she didn't, because she had never liked me. From the first day Kunle introduced me to her, she made it clear. She believed her son deserved a richer woman, a woman from a better family, not someone like me. My chest tightened. So your mother knew, I whispered. Kunle nodded slowly. Yes. And she approved. He didn't answer, but I could see the answer on his face. My heart finally broke completely. But then something strange happened. Tara suddenly placed her hand on her stomach, just briefly, just for a second. But I noticed it. A cold feeling crept into my chest. A terrible thought. A thought I didn't want to say out loud, but it forced its way out anyway. Are you pregnant? The room froze again. Kunle's eyes widened. Tara's face turned pale. And in that moment, I knew the truth. My voice came out barely above a whisper. Oh my God. Tears rolled down Tara's face. I didn't want you to find out like this. My heart stopped. You're pregnant. She nodded slowly. 3 months. 3 months pregnant with my husband's child. The pain was so intense. I couldn't breathe. My best friend, carrying my husband's baby, inside my own house, inside my own bedroom. I felt like the world was spinning. Kunle stepped forward. Ada, please, we can fix this. I stared at him. Fix this? Fix what? You think this is something you can fix? He reached for my hand. I slapped it away. Don't touch me. My voice shook with anger. You have touched enough things that belong to me. He stepped back immediately, fear in his eyes. But what neither of them knew was this. The real storm had not started yet. Because later that same night, I would discover something even worse, something that would change everything, something that would make me realize this betrayal had started long before I traveled abroad. And the truth was far darker than I ever imagined. If you're enjoying the story so far, tell me where you're watching from and don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps. Bring more stories like this. As I packed my things to leave the house, I found something hidden inside Kunle's drawer, an envelope, old, dusty, with a hospital logo on it, from 3 years ago. Curious and suspicious, I opened it, and when I read what was inside, my entire body went cold, because the document said something impossible, something shocking, something that meant only one thing. Kunle had been lying to me for years, and Tara was not the only person who had betrayed me. My hands trembled as I stared at the hospital document. The envelope had the logo of Lagos University Teaching Hospital printed at the top. My heart was beating loudly in my ears. Slowly, I unfolded the paper, At first, the medical terms confused me, but one sentence stood out immediately. Patient, diagnosed with permanent infertility. My chest tightened. I kept reading, and then I saw the patient's name. Kunle Adeyemi, my husband. My entire body went cold. The report said the test had been conducted 3 years ago. 3 years? That was before I traveled abroad. Before everything. Before this betrayal. My mind raced. If Kunle was infertile, then there was only one terrifying possibility. The baby Tara was carrying could not be his. If you're enjoying the story so far, tell me where you're watching from and don't forget to subscribe. I sat down slowly on the edge of the bed. My heart was pounding with confusion. Questions flooded my mind. Why would Conley hide something like this? Why would he allow Tara to believe he was the father? And most importantly, who was the real father of that child? Footsteps suddenly approached the room. Kunle appeared at the door. He looked exhausted. His eyes were red. Ada, can we talk? I held up the hospital report. His face instantly turned pale. So it's true, I whispered. He didn't respond. I stood up, slowly. You're infertile. Silence filled the room. Kunle ran his hand through his hair. I was going to tell you someday. My anger exploded again. Someday? You let me believe for 3 years that we simply hadn't tried hard enough for a baby. Tears burned in my eyes. I thought something was wrong with me. Kunle looked ashamed. I didn't want to lose you. His voice was weak. You deserved a family. I shook my head. You should have trusted me with the truth. Then another thought struck me. A terrifying thought. I looked at him again. If you're infertile, then Tara's baby. Kunle swallowed. I know. You know? His voice dropped to a whisper. It isn't mine. The room felt like it was spinning. Then whose is it? Before Kunle could answer, another voice spoke from behind us. Mine. Both of us turned sharply. Tara was standing at the doorway. Her face was pale. Her eyes filled with tears. My heart sank. What do you mean? I asked slowly. Her lips trembled. It's my baby. But Kunle isn't the father. My head pounded. Then who is? For a moment, Tara couldn't speak. Finally, she whispered the truth. Your cousin, Emeka. My knees nearly gave way. Emeka, my own cousin, the one who visited often when I was abroad, the one who sometimes helped Kunle with business errands. My chest tightened painfully. You're lying. Tara shook her head slowly. I wish I was. Kunle looked shocked too. You told me it was mine, he said. Tara burst into tears. I panicked. Her voice cracked. I found out I was pregnant and didn't know what to do. She wiped her eyes. Emeka refused to take responsibility. So you decided to blame my husband? I snapped. I thought it would protect me, she whispered. Silence filled the room again. Everything suddenly made sense. The secrecy, the tension, but that didn't change the damage. 3 people had betrayed me. My husband, my best friend, my own cousin. For a long moment, none of us spoke. Then something inside me finally calmed. The anger, the pain, the heartbreak. It all settled into one quiet realization. I deserve better, much better. I looked at Kunle. Our marriage is over. His face fell instantly. Ada, please. No. My voice was firm now. You broke the vows we made. Then I turned to Tara. And you broke a friendship that lasted 15 years. Tara cried harder. I'm sorry. But some apologies come too late. I picked up my suitcase. For the first time since entering the house, I felt strangely peaceful, like a heavy weight had been lifted. Maybe losing them wasn't the tragedy. Maybe keeping them in my life would have been the real tragedy. Kunle's voice trembled behind me. Where will you go? I paused at the door. Then I answered quietly, forward. And with that, I walked out of the house, out of the marriage, out of the betrayal, out of the life that had nearly destroyed me. 6 months later, my life looked completely different. I moved to Abuja and started a new job with an international company. The divorce was finalized. Tara moved away after having her baby. And Kunle, Well, some lessons in life come the hardest way, but one thing was certain. The woman who returned from abroad that day was broken. The woman who walked away from that house was stronger than ever. If you enjoyed this story, tell me where you're watching from and don't forget to subscribe for more emotional stories like this, because sometimes the worst betrayals lead to the best new beginnings.